Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is Sunday. We've already done our Speed Duel Spotlight, and in case you didn't check that out, will obviously still be on the channel. You can check that out at your leisure. But I wanted to start strong at the beginning of this new week with our new proposed video format. And what that is basically like and this is a working title, it's on here for the first few at least. It's going to be the yay or nay, can Speed Duel have it? So, we'll just call it Speed Duel Tryouts. How about that? So Speed Duel Tryouts, well, should these cards be allowed in Speed Duel that are currently not in it? And if so, why or why not? And I know it was amping 2 videos a day, but like, you guys got a Speed Duel Spotlight, so that's a video, right? Technically, this could have been 2 videos unto itself as well. It actually could have been more. As you guys saw from the first bit, I have some Neospatians, and I have Neospace, and I think this is going to be like a partial yes. Because first and foremost, the one thing we didn't get in GX yet was the Elemental Hero Neos, and by himself, he does not over-centralize anything. However, he has a bunch of really cool fusions and a bunch of really cool friends that in a slower format have some great effects. And there are already ways to go ahead and abuse the ability to play him. We do have Resurrection for normal monsters. We do have like Living Fossil, I believe, already in the game. So it's not a far cry for us to use something like Foolish Burial to toss Neos, resurrect Neos, and then go ahead and normal summon tag out. That would be no problem at all. But let's talk about what that would mean as far as allowing certain Neospatians in. Now, I didn't pull their fusions, and it's been a long time since I've played any of their fusions, so forgive me if the fusions are more overpowered than the base characters. But I remember Grand Mole being like this amazing little card. He was great. He was rock. We were able to just like throw him out and be like, yeah, I summon this, you know, let me throw that back row, and then I'll pass turn. And then as long as your opponent only played one monster, they had the choice. Do they have something that can out the mole? Do they have like Fisher, Smashing Ground, whatever else we were playing at that point in time? Nowadays, it'd be like, do we have Geki? Do we have Dark Hole? Do we have, you know, even a Kaiju to just go ahead and snap that off the field so we can interact without getting the bounce back? But the bounce effect was crazy. So at the start of the damage step, if it battles an opponent's monster, you can bounce both of them back to the owner's hands. And because of the way this is worded, Grand Mole can be the aggressor or the one who's being attacked, and it won't matter. He'll get his effect either way. So again, Grand Mole, maybe a little too heavy-handed, but now that we've got like some really cool traps and stuff, there are ways around it. So maybe he's just fine now. We do have the Dark Panther. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. I used to run this little guy in a lot of my old Chaos Stuns back in like 2010-ish, somewhere around that time frame. And his effect is actually pretty cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing him currently in Speed Duel. So once per turn, you can target a face-up monster that your opponent controls until the end of the phase. This card's name becomes that monster's original name and replaces its effect with that monster's effects, if any. Translation: if he goes ahead and he copies Neos, he becomes Neos. But again, no effects to be had. And then should he go ahead and copy Hamon, the Lord of Striking Thunder, well, then he would gain Hamon's effects of being able to draw the attacks to him and everything else. So again, very cool. And again, he's not super overpowered. He's only at 1,000 points, so he's not super duper strong. Another one that would be really cool to see would be the Aqua Dolphin. Once per turn, discard a card, look at the opponent's hand, and choose one monster. If a monster with attack greater than or equal to the attack of the chosen card... if you control a monster with attack greater than or equal to the attack of the chosen card, destroy the chosen card. If you do, inflict 500 to the opponent or take 500 yourself as a recoil for having used the effect. And one really great thing that you could do with this is Mind Crush, guys. This would synergize amazingly with Mind Crush because you get that sneak at the opponent's hand. If you take the 500 damage, you take the 500 damage. But you're going to eliminate a top-tier threat out of the opponent's hand. So, like, I am, like, so pro Dolphin. It's not even funny at this point. And searchable through a couple of things right now. He is a warrior, so we got reinforcement of the army. I think we got warrior returning alive, so we can go ahead and recycle him if we're only playing like 1 or 2 of them, and we can get him out through the Mother Grizzly due to his water attribute. So there's a lot of ways to get this guy to the field. And then there's one that I don't think, well, we might see the base form, but we may not, and we're probably never going to see the fusion again. And the fusion would be that for the Air Hummingbird. Now, the Air Hummingbird is pretty cool. Once per turn, you can gain 500 life per card in the opponent's hand. So again, Speed Duel starting us off at 4,000 hit points. This is like an amazing card to just have in your pocket and be able to go like, yeah, you got 4 cards, and I could totally use an extra 2k hit points. Let me go ahead and play this boy. But we're probably not going to see the Air Neos. And the reason for that is I believe it was an Italian airline that has a very similar name and mascot to the look. So we're probably not going to get it. So Neospatians and Fusions, I feel like that's got to be a thing coming up. And again, we never really got the Neospace variant of our boy Jaden yet. So speaking along those lines, we need one other thing, and this would be the other thing, would be how do you make sure that the fusion stays permanent? Well, long story short, you would introduce Neospace. So it says Elemental Hero Neos and all fusions listed on the Neos fusion monsters as material gain 500. So this guy's like 13, 11, 15, and 14, which is fine. Neos becomes an absolute beast of a unit at 3k. Fusion monsters that list Neos as material do not have their effects activated. They return them to the extra deck during the end phase. Now remember, this is back when it was still called a fusion deck, so I had to change the wording in my head real quick because this was Phantom of Darkness, and things were a bit different back then. Now, the way that this would activate then would be just like any other field spell skill card, and you just have Jaden on there. And again, it's starting the field spell zone at the beginning of the game. You may or may not allow the field spell itself into the game the way they did with Ojama Country, with the Chaz treatment, where you got both the physical card and a skill card to do it. You may not. We might see Neospace in both forms. But as a skill card, it would definitely be more fair because it could be a one and done, and then you don't have to, as an opponent, worry so much about whether or not you're going to be able to take apart that fusion. So that is my argument here. I do think some of them we're just not going to see. Like this guy hasn't, like his fusion has not been reprinted in a long time. And again, I want to say there's like some legal action between the, what do you want to call it again? Like the Italian airline. I want to say it's like Neos Air as opposed to Air Neos. And again, I want to say that they have like a little hummingbird woodpecker-ish type little mascot. And I want to say it does look extremely similar to this. And I mean, you guys could look it up. It's fairly common. So we probably won't get his fusion, which is kind of a shame. But for the rest of them, fair to a point where I could abuse it as part of a tech build. Fair to the point where it could definitely see itself on a limitations list because it is good. And probably most fair if it is a skill card instead of being just a straight up field spell. So let me know what you guys think. This was, of course, the first of many. I've got a bunch of them for the week. We are not going to be doing any of these tomorrow because I do have a deck master for you guys. Believe it or not, it's going to be a Link monster for once. And this week and next, I've got you guys some Naruto CCG decks. Tomorrow, we will be going over Gara, like a Gara build using a lot of the Sand Ninjas. And then the week after, I believe my wife has selected out my all ladies girl power Kunoichi decks. So for now, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to help us buy sleeves, donate through the Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description. Additionally, you want to help this little bit succeed. One thing I'm going to need you to do, like 1 or 2 cards that you think could be added in the comment section. It's part of the comment part. But just like do a little double duty on that. And you might see yours on here as part of a future little video. So for now, you guys enjoy your day. And I hope to see you guys again next time. Later.